Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sequel Green here, and today we just hit 4,000 subscribers. And that's amazing, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your support, for liking the videos, commenting on the videos, for subscribing of course. And if you're not subscribed yet, you might as well do, because we are on our way to 5,000 subscribers. So yeah, I thought what better way to celebrate this milestone than by talking about the top 5 worst characters in Injustice 2 Mobile. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, we've got ourselves Swamp Thing. And honestly, if I was to be 100% fair, Swamp Thing would have not even made it to the top 5 worst characters, because there are characters over there that are much worse. But it would have been a missed opportunity to not include Swamp Thing in this list, since he's such a meme character. And don't get me wrong, he's a terrible character. He's most likely in the top 6 or top 7 worst characters, if not in the top 5. The meme behind this character was started a long time ago on the basis of the fact that he was the only character in Injustice 2 Mobile that could not complete a full combo because his basic attacks were so slow that they would simply get interrupted mid-combo, and your enemy would be like, you're trying to do a combo, let me help you there, and will start hit you. Since then, that issue have been resolved, but he does not lose his meme status. And he's also a gold character that a lot of people have extra shards for, because he's in the last chapter of Heroic that you farm, and he also kinda drops a lot from some of the chests. Like, you're opening a chest, expecting to get a Just League Cyborg, bam, you got yourself a Swamp Thing. Got yourself a legendary character over there, I see. But getting into the character kit, he's simply nothing amazing. His abilities are bland, don't have any added effect, and his passive will revive him if he dies with a certain percentage of health. And well, that's okay, I guess. You need to die for that to happen, so this is something that does not reward proper use, but instead rewards mistakes. So that's a very bad concept. It's a very bland character, one of the first characters introduced in Injustice 2 Mobile, and he should definitely get a rework. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get to number 4. Coming in at number 4, we got ourselves Master Thief Catwoman, or you could argue for Silver Catwoman, since they are pretty much the same character more or less. And why I put her at number 4? Well, first of all, the only, let's say, thing that holds her from being higher than number 4 is the fact that her abilities have some dot damage. He's not a character that does dot damage that you want to use. He's not one of the best characters in the game. He's one of the worst characters in the game. They are both. And the thing is, their abilities are bland except for some dot damage thrown here and there. And their passives are useless. Like, Master Thief's Catwoman and normal Catwoman's passive is going to increase the amount of credits you get from your operations. Great, you might say. Put them in the operations then. They got a role, and they got a very important and specific role that no other character can fill. Wrong. The credits that you get from the operations are such a small amount that having them there will make next to no difference, and you're anyways doing operations for the gems. I've never heard anybody being like, oh my god, I can't wait to get my gold from the operations. No, you're waiting for those 30 gems from the operations, let's be real. And the gold amount is laughable. And the huge problem with that fact is also the fact that you use operations to level up other characters that are low level. And that's why Catwoman has no place in the operations, and as a character simply does not have a passive when it comes to combat. But as I said previously, she's got smooth basic attacks, and she's got some dot damage on some abilities, and that's why she's at number 4 and not lower. With all that being said, let's get on to number 3. Coming in at number 3, we get ourselves Enrage Bane. He's all the way at number 3 because he's got a useless passive, but with the use, you'll see the trend of useless passives from now on at each and every character that's higher on the list. So what does his passive do? His passive is going to make your attacks unblockable after the enemy uses an ability. And you might say, yeah, that's kind of useful, isn't it? No, it's not useful in the slightest bit, because when you get hit by an ability, there are 2 situations. Situation number 1. You block that ability. If you block that ability, then you'll be able to anyways start the combo, regardless if your attacks are blockable or unblockable. Situation number 2, you get hit by the special attack. What happens then? Then you are not going to be able to chain your combos because the enemy is going to chain a combo and hit you before of that. And even if you could make use of this, it still encourages a gameplay where you intentionally get hit by the special attacks, so you get unblockable, I guess, or rewards the mistake of not blocking them. I really don't understand what was behind this concept, but he's a great character otherwise. Like, his abilities are still bland, but it's a great character concept. He's got smooth basic attacks, he's got nice looking special attacks. I think while recording the footage for this video, he was by far the most fun character to play, but unfortunately he's bland, his abilities don't do anything, and his passive is in a way not existent. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we got Sonic Black Canary, and she's literally the female version of Enrage Bane, because of the fact that her passive does not do anything. As far as I'm aware, her special attacks are going to disable the opponent's block. And you might be like, well, yeah, that's pretty good, you can hit without worrying that the enemy will block. At any point, there is no concern of enemy blocking when you're starting a combo. If he blocks, you're going to do your 3 hits, back off, block, wait for another opening. But the real problem is, in fact, the fact that the AI has usually faster basic attacks or the faster first basic attack than you. And it's going to hit you before you're able to hit him. So disabling the block of the enemy is going to do next to nothing, and you're still going to look for the same openings that you would have looked for if he was able to indeed block. And that's why she's at number 2. She's pretty much a terrible character with no passive. With all that being said, let's get to some honorable mentions and then let's get to the number 1. In the honorable mentions section, I'm going to just throw some characters in. Blade Master Robin has a stun, has some kind of a passive, but it's a very weak character. Powered Supergirl has dot damage on special 1, I guess. Silver Scarecrow does something, I guess. Silver Swamp Thing kind of heals with his passive, I guess. Silver Joker stuns the enemy when he dies, and Unhinged Harley Quinn takes control of the enemy she kills. Those are characters that are terrible, have no place in no game mode, and you should use them only if you are out of options. But yeah, with all that being said, let's get to number 1. Coming in at number 1, we got ourselves Cheetah. And yeah, you could argue that she would have been a number 3, and we could put Enrage Bane and Sonic Black Canary below him, below her, like at number 1 and number 2, but I'm going to put her at number 1 anyways, because I simply despise the character. I don't despise Cheetah as a character, actually kinda do, I don't like furries, but getting back to the point, she's a terrible character because of her passive mainly. As you have seen a trend so far, all her abilities are going to be bland, they literally don't do anything other than damage, and her passive is going to do the following. It's going to grant you armor pierce on your basic attacks. Oh wow, that's great. It would be so amazing if she could chain her basic attacks from an ability. Wait, she can't? She can't chain basic attacks from an ability? What are you saying? You're saying the fact that that borderline useless passive will almost lose all the duration until the time you're able to reconnect your attacks with the enemy? What are you saying? Armor piercing on basic attacks on a character that does not deal damage based on basic attacks is useless? Are you saying the fact that even if you were to use her as a damage dealer, that passive would have been totally useless because the nowadays meta encourages a gameplay where you use the all blades in order to stack attack and you need to tag in and out constantly, and by the time she's tagged back in, that armor pierce buff will be over? Yeah. That's why she is, in my opinion, the most or one of the most terrible characters in Just 2 Mobile, and you should never play her. But don't go out of your way to shatter your gears. Like, I think Alternate Gaming did a video on how to build Cheetah, and he went ahead and shattered all the gears. And for that alone, I really wish we get a rework on Cheetah, and I really wish her gears disappear and you get them a range up specifically. Let's see how you do them. But yeah, with all that being said, definitely the most terrible character in Just 2 Mobile, and I think Alter Gaming could agree with me on this one. So with all that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.